How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am great. Can you hear me good?
You can turn up a little bit.
Turn me up a little bit. Can you hear now?
I got you.
Okay. All right. Well, what's up, girl? How you been doing?
I've been hanging in there like a young champ.
And of course, you guys, this is Tori, and I'm doing it live. Of course, domestic violence is near and dear to my heart. So, of course, I had to talk to Tonya before the month ends. Now, Tonya, before we get into telling your story, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm just a young, hyperactive young lady that loves the Lord, love my family, and just like helping others. I'm just
I
a servant.
Right. And that you are. And I will say you are such a blessing because I have known you for a long time and I love the woman that you have evolved into.
Yes.
And of course, like I was telling everyone, domestic violence is a topic, it's subject that's near and dear to my heart because I've experienced it, I've witnessed it, and I hate to see people going through domestic violence. And unfortunately, there are a lot of cases going on now, especially with the COVID. Some of the cases have actually risen due to this COVID, and people are, at home. So I hate the situation, but let's go ahead and get started because I don't want to take up too much of your time. But every year you normally have an event that you do on the square. Did you guys have that this year?
Not this year due to the pandemic of the COVID-19. We decided to cancel, but we
Okay.
did do an information session where all the advocates in the PD region locally in the PD, we got together and we just actually came on the square at the courthouse and we just did coverage for domestic violence right there at the courthouse in Darlington, which is myself for House of Refuge, Ms. Joyce Ford for Naomi Project out of Florence, Ms. Jennifer Giles Robertson from Empowered to Heal Sexual Assault, Ms. Pamela Prince, PD Coalition, Ms. Barbara Black, Lydia's Vows of Mercy. It was just so many of us there just coming to the sheriff department, victims advocate from Darlington, Miss Melissa. We just came together and just do what we do. Just put it together and just enjoy one another because that's mainly our only time we come together as one. But
Mm-hmm.
this year we decided to do something different. So we planned a little dinner. So we're gonna have a little picnic this Saturday.
Oh,
We're gonna get
really?
together, everyone's gonna bring a dish.
Oh, wow. That's going to be cool. What time Saturday?
It's going to actually be at 11. It's going to be at the park in Florence. Um, and it's just going to be an awesome time for us to brainstorm. And we actually want to do more than just raise awareness just for October. We want to do something monthly. So we're going
Right.
to kind of brainstorm and kind of put that together where we can raise awareness monthly.
Okay. Now, is this open to the public or is it just
No, it's just our time. It's going to be
okay,
our time.
okay. Well, I hate I missed the event on the 17th, but let's get to the business at hand. Tell us about your experience with domestic violence.
Well, it started when I was a young girl growing up. My mother, she has four children. I'm the oldest out of four. She have two girls, two boys. Um, and just as a young girl, seeing my stepfather abuse my mother, you know, we went through that for a long time. When I say a long time, I feel like it's been forever, and we went through that for a while. And it got to the point where she got tired and she decided to separate from him. And so he was seeing a woman across the street. And so we would actually see him every other day, go to that woman's house and see her right before our eyes. And we would be wanting food and didn't have anything in the house to eat. And he wouldn't even speak to us. So, we went through that for a good bit. And then my mom decided to start seeing someone else.
Mhm.
And of course, jealousy kicked in. And, it happened where he sent the babysitter home and called the police and said that my mom left us there by ourselves. And the police came and said, if you can't agree and talk, don't fight her. I begged the officer, please don't leave us there because I knew what he was going to do. I was used to it. It was raining that night. I mean, it was raining heavily. like never, ever I ever saw before. And so I waited up that night, and my brother at that time, he was like 9 months old. My other two siblings, they were sleeping, but I was up waiting for my mom to come home. And lo and behold, I heard when the keys was rattling going in the door, and I was saying, Lord, please don't let my mama come in the house. And it just so happened when she came in, he hit her, knocked her out, dragged her. She was able to pull through. At that point, I remember seeing her hand going down on the wall with just blood, and he just started stumping and beating her with a baseball bat. And at that
Mm.
point, it just kind of freaked me out, and I ran next door and told the neighbor to call the police. My mom was dead, and it was her best friend, and she was screaming and hollering, saying, "Tonya, don't say that." And I was like, "Yeah, my mama's dead. My stepdad done beat her." And so he ended up locking the door behind himself. So we didn't know if he was in there or not. We didn't know what to expect when the door opened. So we ended up calling the police. Police came. And when they came, they said they had to call the housing authority to actually get inside the home. Back in those days, back in the 80s and the 90s, they didn't kick in your door right there. They got protocol done, and so I hate that part of it because it actually took the landlord from the apartment that we were living in actually 2 hours to get there, and so
Oh,
that whole
wow.
time my mom was just laying there, you know, and so when they did go in and open the door, my mom she wasn't dark skinned, but she was a pretty dark skinned woman, and when we got in there, she was purple and black. So at this point, you know, I went through that for a long time, with the school, going to school, children picking at me, bullying me. Boy, your mom got me to the baseball bat. And so I ended up fighting a lot in school. Yeah, I was a
Yeah.
fighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got kicked out of school, and, I ended up, just getting with the wrong crowd and just hanging out, partying, drinking, smoking, just doing what a young person would do,
Mhm.
enjoying the street life. And then later on in life, I ended up in a relationship myself. It's a cycle. And I ended up in it, had a man I thought was the love of my life. Oh, he was tall and black. And oh, he was just nice, and but both of us had addiction. He was strung out on crack, and then I ended up on crack. And, it came to the point where we would fight all the time. And so um, I was in and out of jail. And I lost my children because of it, because his mom called DSS, and I thank her to this day. You wouldn't believe, sometimes I go to her job, and I
Mhm.
literally thank her for calling DSS, because had she not called, I wouldn't be here. I don't think I would be here to tell the story today. I don't think my children would be in a place where they are today. When they did call DSS, DSS got involved. I had enough common sense, because I'm not dumb,
Yeah.
God, He blessed me with some good stuff. So um, I told them, I said, one thing you're not gonna do, you're not gonna take my children. They didn't ask to come here, and I'd be less than a mother to let you take my children. So I actually asked a neighbor. And that's why it's important as neighbors and as a community, if you know somebody that needs your assistance or need your help or need a safe place to stay, open your door. I asked the neighbor to take my children. And I say, just do it for me until I can better myself, because I don't want them to go into foster care. And so that saved my children from going into foster care. She actually took care of my children for 2 years. And then
Wow.
I got to the point where I got tired of doing what I was doing. He didn't want to change. Things were getting worse, and I wanted to leave. And he said, "You can leave, but you're gonna die like your mom." Girl, everything went out the door. I ain't had no Holy Ghost. I ain't had no Jesus. I was on a nasty, dirty sinner, and I lost it. And so I regret to this day what I done. I even have asked him for forgiveness since the incident happened. But that was my only way out the house. I tried to attempt to leave 3 times, and each time he said, "You can leave, but you're going to wear a tail cut." And I threw my hands up and I said, "Lord," I said, "I don't want him to kill me. and I don't want to end up like my mother. I said, so you're gonna have to help me out this house. And so it was a saucer, a glass saucer that we used to use out of because I used to do cocaine. And I threw it out of anger. That's why I tell people when you're angry, you don't know how strong you are. You have strength above strength. You are very, 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 very strong. And the strength that lies in you out of anger, you wouldn't even imagine. So I threw it out of anger. And when I launched it, I gave it all I got. I reached back and I threw it. And when I threw it, it was like a frisbee. And it cut the ligaments from his eyes. And to this day, he only had one eye. And I got 15 years for that. I caught 15 years for trying to fight my way out of the house. 15 years. But the God that I serve, he said, no, not so. The officer that arrested me, state picked up the charge because the boyfriend never pressed the charge. The state picked it up. And so they dropped it. And the officer told me, he said, you know what? He said, either you're going to kill him, he going to kill you, or y'all going to kill each other because y'all not going to leave each other. So we're just going to drop the charges. That was the best thing he could have ever done in his life, I believe. And when he dropped the charges, that when a light bulb came on and said, okay, this is your route to escape. I thought about my children. They didn't actually come here. They was young. They was needing their mother. And hey, I just did what I had to do to get my babies back. And I got my babies back. And I asked the Lord, what is it that I can do to give back to the community to support the women that go through what I have been through? And that's when I wrote the book first. So I'm an author. I do have a book called There Is a Way Out by T.D. Flowers. Not T.D. Jakes, but T.D. Flowers. And it's on Amazon. It's on Blurb. And it's submitted to go into Barnes and Nobles. So that's where I'm at with that. But it's still out there. It can be bought. And with that book, it opened doors for me to go into the women's shelters, the orphanages, and minister to the children and the women. And I said, no, it got to be more. Got to be more. And so I opened the office here in Darlington. This was the first office for women to be able to come and relate to me and open up to try to seek help for being in a battered, abusive relationship. And the numbers just was too much. Back in 2013 when I started, we were number one in the nation.
Wow.
Number one in the nation for women being killed by men. And so what I was seeing was the women didn't have a safe place, and because they didn't have a safe place, their children were being taken. So I said it got to be something I could do to help. So I went from the office to establishing the first road march to raise awareness called Breaking the Silence. And from that, it went to opening the first transitional home here in Darlington, which is a safe house for battered women and children. And went from that to opening a clothes closet, which we still have. Partner with the school district to be able to provide clothing for underprivileged children that are in need. It's free. It went from that to this Friday, which is tomorrow. We'll be opening another safe house. I want to say that for you.
Awesome.
I want to say that one for you. We're decorating everything now. We're putting the rooms and stuff together. And I just want to, just thank all the supporters, all the sponsors, all the grantors for their support in pushing the vision, because without these funds, we couldn't do it. And, the pandemic slowed us down with our funding, but God's still sustaining us. It is what it is. We just got to push through it and just keep doing it, make the vision work.
Right.
So he called me to it. He gonna have to be the one to bring me through it. So I'm just a servant. But yeah, we open another one tomorrow.
Okay. And that's what people have to realize. We have to continue to be servants throughout our life and help as many people as we can. Now, let me ask you this question. What advice would you give to someone who may currently, in this very moment, be going through abusive relationship and they feel like they're stuck? They feel like they can't leave, because like I was telling people before, some women feel like they're stuck, especially if they're not working and the man is the sole provider. You know what I mean? Because I've been in that situation. I've seen it and I've observed it as well. What advice would you give someone who's currently in an abusive relationship? They feel like they're stuck and they feel like they don't have anybody that they can talk to.
The advice that I would give is you can do this. I know what it's like to actually depend on your significant other because, like you say, you don't have the finances, you don't have a place to stay, you don't have, well, you think you don't. You don't have the necessary means of surviving.
Mm-hmm.
And fear is a factor when it comes to moving forward. And so once you get past that fear, because one thing I realized, as long as we're used to the normal, we can go with it. But when we got to step out of the norm, it kind of brings on friction where, oh, I don't think I can make it. I don't think it's gonna work. I got to stay here. No, you don't have to stay there. There are so much resources. Reach out to your local advocates in your community. Reach out to your organization that are sheltering battered women and children. Reach out to a counselor. Reach out to DSS. Reach out to your local. Every police department has a victims advocate department. Reach out to your victims advocate, and there are resources to help you get out that situation. Like with us, we provide shelter, but also we help find jobs. So if the person is able to work, able-bodied to work, we make sure that we ourselves go on site and make sure that person get hired on the spot.
Wow.
And can I tell you something? We haven't had no one yet. Out of the 8 years I've been doing this, we haven't had no one yet that we have took to got a job and they didn't get it. No one.
Wow.
Whether it's male or female. Now, what I would like to say is we don't only help the women, we help the men, but only thing we just don't shelter them. But we refer them out to other places that can shelter them. We don't actually shelter the men, but we shelter the women. We actually, for instance, someone have something on their background,
Mm-hmm.
they got in trouble, and it can come off their background, expunge. We pay for it to get it sponged off their record.
Wow.
So they can go to work. So if you want to do it, I'm going to challenge you to do it because I'm going to make sure you get the necessary resources for you to move forward. So no, it's not. No, it's not an option when it comes to me. If you say you want to leave and you want to better yourself and you want this, talk to me. I'm gonna push you to that limit. I'm gonna push you as far as I can get you because there's no option in no. Only thing beats a failure is a try. And once you try, that's all you need. Someone would actually see that you're trying and actually make sure that you get where you need to be. So just reach out to your community organizations and just do what you have to do. And I've been there. I know what it's like.
Yeah. And if someone wants to get in contact with you, tell us again. First, also tell us the name of the book, your book, and you said it can be purchased on Amazon. Tell us the name of the book. We know we can get it on Amazon. Also, tell us your it's how you say House of Refuge, right? Tell us about that, the location, contact number, how people can reach you on social media, all the information that they'll need to be able to reach out to you.
Okay. The name of the book is There Is a Way Out.
Okay.
So, like you say, there's no option that you have to say. There is a way out. And that's the name of the book. Also, our organization is House of Refuge on Facebook for battered women and children. You can reach out to us through that page. Also, you can reach me direct contact 843-624-3214. Those, and we cover the whole state of South Carolina.
Okay. 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 Well, I appreciate
Yes.
you taking time out to talk to me. It has been a pleasure. I was like, I gotta get Tonya. I was like, and I kept forgetting to reach out. I said, that's gonna be the perfect one to wrap up the month of October. And I didn't get a chance. Of course, I gotta salute the people that are breast cancer survivors as well. I was not able to get any people to talk to for breast cancer awareness, but I salute those that are breast cancer survivors. But thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. You guys are doing a phenomenal job, because I look forward to, like I said, like I was telling you prior before us going on live, I was telling you I was looking forward to it, because I'm normally, when you guys have the march and the
Mhm.
rally in the square, I live right across the street. So I will always walk over. So all month long, I was like, "Well, dog, where are they?" I said, "Well, maybe they have it because of the pandemic." But I
Yeah.
look forward to it.
That.
It really, really blesses me. And it's like the
Yeah.
speakers that you have. Not only you sharing your story, but all the speakers that you have, they have some very powerful testimonies. And not
Yes.
only the powerful testimony you had, like I know one year I went, you had people singing, and if I'm not mistaken, y'all did a balloon release one year too, right?
Every year we do a balloon release.
Yeah, I was like, oh
Hmm.
my God, this is so beautiful. Oh my
Yeah.
God. But thank you so much.
Remembering remembering our victims. We don't want to forget them because we're their voice.
Yeah. And please reiterate, a lot of people, like I said before, a lot of people feel as if it doesn't happen to men. A lot of people really focus on the women, but there
Hmm.
are men that are abused as well. And like I was saying, telling people before, that doesn't mean that they're weak men. You know
No,
what I mean? A lot of people say, well, the man is getting, they look at him as, and that's not always the case.
that's right. But it
That is
takes away their ego. It takes away their pride. You know, to come and tell somebody my significant other is abusing me. You know, a man is a man, but we
right.
try to help them as well. We don't discriminate. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We don't discriminate. Color, sex, religion, age. We don't discriminate. We try to help whoever we can, and that's what we're here for. And I just want to say I thank God for my husband, Pastor Bobby L. Flowers Jr. He has my back 1,000%. I couldn't do it without him because believe me, I have some rough moments where I just say, you know what, I'm done. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna work. And he said, baby, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to hang in there. He pushes me. I mean, he really does. If I need support, he's my biggest fan, my biggest my cheerleader.
That, that is awesome. You gotta have somebody in your life that's gonna push you to be better. Oh my God, that is amazing. That is
Yes,
amazing. And one more time, give out your phone number in case somebody want to talk to you personally.
it's 843-624-3214, and that's 24 hours, 7 days a week.
All right. Well, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you. And it has been a pleasure, as always,
Thank you
talking
for
to you
having me.
guys. And of course, you guys, you can watch, if you didn't get the chance to see it live, you can also watch the replay. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. And later, give me a little moment. I'm going to also download the audio. So those that can't physically watch it, you can also listen to it later on my podcast, Keeping the Faith. But thank you so much, Tonya. And you know
You're
I'm gonna be in
welcome.
touch with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Talk to you later.
All right. Have a blessed day.
You too.